I was to come up to. How do you know what season you're supposed to come up to? How do you know the season you're in? How do you know? Look at who you're connected to. Look at the skill of the person you're connected to, and it just told you this is where you are. Pastor Weatherby, Cornell, Sherry, all of you who are on here. It's Edward Ragland, I'm proud of you. How do you know what season you're in? Look at the person you're connected to. And that lets you know. And see, you don't have to be with them presently to be in that season. Simply because you're connected to them. You could be out of town, you could be out of state, you could be out of the country. Just because you're connected to them, that's your season. And God and the wisdom of God is going to require you to come up to a similar skill level, similar mentality. He's not caring about your family around you, how they think about you and what grade level, and if you didn't graduate, and if you got a GED. He's not concerned. He's saying, look at who I've connected you to. That's your skill level. That's your wisdom level. That's your mentality. That's your miracle level. That's your excellent level. Look at who I've connected you to. But when you get so familiar with the people that you're connected to that are supposed to bring greatness, you're going to see their flaws. You're going to see their weakness. You're going to see where they've been transparent. You're going to see their crucifixions. Remember, the disciples ran away from Jesus as soon as he got a whipping, as soon as he got flogged, as soon as he got arrested, they ran away because they weren't accustomed to him losing. They didn't know he wasn't losing, he was exchanging. See, when you recognize the season you're in, you will know that the people that God connected you to are not losing. They're exchanging a dimension. They're exchanging a pattern. But we look at it as though they're being defeated. As soon as he got crucified, they ran away. The only person that didn't run away was John. John was there, and that's why Jesus left his most prized possession, his mother, with the disciple who didn't run away. There are some disciples that run away when it looks like the person is losing. You understand? But those people, and we're just not talking about church pastors, we're talking about people who have caught on to a vision, who've manifested a vision of power. They're manifesting a new truth. They're manifesting and forerunning the power. You understand? Yes. And so they're not losing, they're exchanging a pattern. Let me hear you say they are not losing, they are exchanging a pattern. They're not losing, they're exchanging a paradigm. They're exchanging it. But if you have not imitated the greatness you're walking in, you'll still be the old person walking with a new person with an old perspective. You'll be still in their revelations trying to teach them from an old shift, an old paradigm, and the waters won't part for you because you're using a cloak and you're using a cape that's not for you. You understand? They are exchanging a pattern. They're exchanging a paradigm. You could be walking with people in new seasons and you have an old mind and you will never comprehend the new season. You will argue with that new season. You will fuss at it. You will say that it's not being patient with you and waiting on you. But let me tell you something. New seasons don't wait for old minds. This isn't candy. This isn't breakfast buffets. You have to walk with the flow and you have to give up yourself to do it. You got to give yourself up, your perception. You got to give that up. And a lot of times we walk in new places with our old minds and we're discerning the new place with an old perspective, and it's destroying us, and it's destroying our faith, and it's destroying our confidence. If you want to know what season you're in, if you want to know what season you're in, look at who you're with. If you want to know what season you're in, look at who you're with. If you want to know where God has taken you, look at who he's connected you to. He's going to connect you to somebody who's up, who's up, who's up, up. May not have more money than you, don't mean money, but they're up there, they're up there, they're up there. And it tells you this is what you need to be doing. You need to do what the person is doing that I've connected you with. Don't do what you do. Because what you did didn't bring you nowhere. What you did didn't do anything. You understand? So stop finding faith in what you done, because what you done didn't do anything. You understand? If you want to know what season you're in, look at who he's connected you to. Look at who he's connected you with. If you want to know the wisdom you need to have, look at the wisdom of the people or the person that you're with. If you want to know how to be, look at how the person is. Look at them. Look at them. If you want to know how to commit, look at the person. Look at the commitment level of the person. Hey, I'm not going fast. I just know what I'm talking about. How many of you are imitating the commitment level of the greatest teacher in your life? How many of you are imitating the commitment level of Christ? Not just commitment to church and paying offering and commitment to choir rehearsals and commitment to pastor's aid. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But who's the greatest teacher of your consciousness? I mean, not just a teacher and you not turning in assignments of life. Hey, Thaddeus, how you doing? Chris Fountain, what's up, man? Timothy. How many of you are imitating the commitment level of the greatest instructor of your life? How many of you are imitating the commitment level of the greatest coach of your soul? You have to imitate the commitment level of your teacher to get the power of the teacher. You have to imitate how they commit to a thing that they're teaching you. You have to your commitment level has to match the commitment level that they have to the experience in order to do it. Because a lot of us are hearing without committing on that same level. Well, you're not going to get the same fruit because your commitment hasn't compared or imitated. That's right. Be imitators of God as dear children. How many of you are imitating God? God is to be imitated. The greatest form of worship is imitation. The greatest form of worship is not standing up with a keyboard and an organ and an acoustic guitar now and stand up and saying, we worship you, Lord. Oh, Lord, hallelujah, we worship. Sounds good. Sounds good. But the commitment, the greatest form of imitation, the greatest form of worship is imitating the person you're adoring. It means when I imitate God, God gives me the permission to act like God because he's my father. And if he's my father, I do what I see my father do. Jesus is not the only one that do what he sees his father do. We are sons of God. The word says he's the firstborn of many brethren. He's the pattern son. We were all made after our older brother Jesus. So Jesus is a son of God. I'm a son of God. You're a son of God. And this one's a son of God. And so we're not just son of God as it pertains to church. There's not a church dimension of being a son of God, but it's a universal spiritual dynamic of being a son of God. In other words, the creation looks at me and you the same way it looked when Jesus was here. As a matter of fact, creation thinks Jesus is still here in the form of you. The atmosphere is not looking to see if I'm black or white or brown or this or blue or polka dot, or if I'm Asian or Jewish or this, and Jesus was Jew. The atmosphere doesn't look at the cultural dynamic. It looks at the seed that God breathed into the universe. The seed of God is the sons of God. The seed, the breath of God is the sons of God. We are the breath of God. We're the breath of God. He formed man from the ground. Blessings, Robert. He formed man from the dust of the ground, and then he breathed himself into the dirt. God breathed God into the dirt. God put God in the dirt. He just didn't make the man a human being, but he formed the man, which means the man would be a representation of the world. But while he's living in the world, he would be God in it. And he had the power to name everything because he was God living in the earth. Adam means man. The woman's name wasn't Eve until the man named her Eve after they fell. The word says God created them both, male and female, and he called their name Adam. Both male and female are who God is. There is a male God and a female God representative in the earth. Women are not Eve. Eve is the name of a fallen woman that a fallen man named the woman after they got kicked out of the garden. God never named the woman Eve. Her name was Adam. They were one. God, male and female are who the fullness of God is. How many of you walking with me? Male and female are the fullness of God right now. You understand? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You have to recognize it. Recognize it. Recognize the flow. Recognize it. Recognize it. Recognize it. Look at your energy. Put the energy in the right place. You want to know what season you're in? Look at where you're at. Look at who you're with. Look at who you're with. That's the season you're in. You want to know how wise you have to be. You want to know what skill level you need? Look at who you're walking with. If you want to know how to think, look at who you're walking with. If you want to know how to talk, look at who you're walking with. If you want to know how to commit, look at who you're walking with. Imitate God. Imitate your greatest teacher of spirit and imitate your greatest teacher of the natural. And when you're walking in the kingdom, the natural is really the spirit manifested. It's really the spirit in skin form. What is the natural? The spirit in skin form. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it is when you have a natural teacher that's putting a demand on you. That's the spirit in skin form. Not the spirit in intimate form, but the spirit in skin form. Some of you have teachers that are spirit in skin form. And then you have your father who's spirit in intimate form. That's where your devotion goes to. But then he puts you with a teacher that shows you how to work. Shows you how to work, and it affirms what he put in your heart already. Y'all okay? Oh, let me know y'all okay. Say I'm okay. Let me know I'm okay. Let me know you're still with me. You understand what I'm talking about? That's what you do. Undrai, you understand what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what he does. But it shows you where your energy is. Michael, Pastor Weatherby, if you want to know what season you're in, look at who you're with. Vanessa, if you want to know what season you're in, who are you with? Because that'll show you if you need to upgrade. But if you're with someone and it's bringing a downgrade, that's you are not drawn to them by the anointing. You went to them for a social reason. You understand what I'm saying? That means I'm not saying you did it, but what I'm saying, sometimes we join people in flesh, or we join people. Chris, you know what I'm saying? Miss B, I know you know. So it means we join them according to something else. A lot of people walk with Jesus, but they didn't know it was Jesus they were walking with. We heard the Messiah is coming, but they walked with them for their own personal validation, so they would hung themselves. Everybody that walked with him either hung themselves or they left. He had 70 disciples, Thaddeus, at one time. He had, it'll be on my Facebook later, Thaddeus, you'll be able to see it, or I'm going to put it on YouTube. He had 70 disciples at one time. 58 of them left because they said that's a hard saying. He said, eat my flesh, drink my blood. If you want to be a part of me, eat my flesh, drink my blood. They say, who could eat this man's flesh and blood? And they left. They never came back. They say it's hard. It's a hard saying. See, when you're not a disciple, everything the teacher says is hard. And you need a moment to think to see if you can do it. You're not following the example. I need to know if I can do it. You understand? You need to recognize who you're with. If you want to know what season you're in, look at who you're with. If you want to know the wisdom you're supposed to have, look at the greatest teacher that's in your life. If you want to know what skill level to have, look at who you're with. If you want to know how to talk, look at who you're with. If you match the commitment level of the greatest teacher in your spirit and in the natural. If you're not matching the intensive or commitment level of them, you're messing up your season. You are in the season of the person you've been connected with by God. But if you're not borrowing and using them as an example, you're still in your own thought. And you can't open the door with old thought. You can't open the door with non-accountability. We're not talking about if you come into church, did you do this? No. Am I imitating the greatest teacher in my life? How many of you are imitating your teachers by a show of hand? I'm imitating them. I'm imitating their skill level. Not trying to be them, but I'm imitating the essence that has been released around me. I'm imitating it. I'm imitating it. I'm not trying to be that man or be that woman, but I'm imitating the essence. I wasn't being Miles Monroe. But Miles said, Undrai, I am speaking to the Knesset, which is the highest spiritual government in Jerusalem. In Israel, I'm speaking to the parliament, and I want what you say to be here. But if I don't match his skill, I can't speak to that government. You can't speak to the universe until God becomes your teacher. You can't speak to the atmosphere listening to something that's little. You have to match the wisdom level of the thing you want to affect. What do you... I'm about to leave because I know I done held y'all too long, y'all at lunch. Whatever you want to affect, whatever influence you want to have, you have to match the commitment level of the thing that's influencing it. If I want to affect the world, I have to match the commitment level of the thing that's already doing it. I have to be there all the time. My mind has to constantly be on. I just can't talk. I have to be. I have to transform. How many of you feel me? All right, check this out on my page. I'm going to let you guys go. It's almost 30 minutes, and I know you didn't get on here for 30 minutes, but it's going to be on my page. I love you. Thank you.